Have you got a project coming up where you cross America by some means of transport? I was reading about it fleetingly.
Oh, Lord.
Someone's crossing America on Highway 66. Stephen Fry.
It is. I've always had a fascination for America, and one of the things that really interests me about it is not the America that I get to see most of the time. That's to say, Los Angeles, New York, where I had an apartment for some years, and San Francisco and Chicago, but the bits in between. And
which the Americans who live in New York and Los Angeles, I've heard them call it the flyover.
The flyover, exactly. That's right. They do. They have other strange words like boondocks and things that they use.
So you haven't actually done...
No, I'm starting in October. I'm going to visit every single one of the 50 states.
Really?
Yeah, every one. Because that really, America is...
That's Hawaii and Alaska.
It's called the United States of America, and how united they are.
One of the things that makes it ungovernable, it's too big.
Exactly. And one of the things that makes it not what you see on either drama or on the news is that someone living in Oregon is an Oregonian, much more than they are an American, really.
And full of people who are quite likely to vote the other way from you and your friends.
Again, it's one of the paradoxes of America. They're so much more old-fashioned than we are. We're a very Republican place, England. We believe in the... You know, we believe in the sovereignty of our own self and our own opinion. We have a John Bull sort of, or if it's more benign, a Pickwickian sense of, I'm as good as the next chap, and the next chap's as good as me, and we're all equal. It's a very British way of looking at things. America has a class system, and they believe in the primacy of money and of hierarchies, and they actually believe in believing in things, which we don't. We're very sceptical people. I mean, if you wanted to define the English character in a more intellectual way, I would say we are an empirical people. Our greatest gift to Europe and to the intellectual thrust of the last 400 or 500 years has been empiricism. It's how Newton beat Pascal, if you like, how he was right. The French are rationalists. We're not. And we distrust rationalism and superstition as being two wings of the same heresy.
And that's why we've got an established church in which nobody believes.
Exactly. Because we don't believe in things because we test things.
But you still want an established church.
We still want it.
Somewhere to go to get married, somewhere to go when you croak.
Yeah. In America, they really have a religious idea about liberty. They believe it to be a thing that I still don't understand, and that's one of the things I want to understand on this tour.
Well, there's such a thing as fetishizing it. Like, there's an article in the Constitution that fetishizes the right to bear arms.
I think we have, as I say, this rather more, well, tested. Does that work or doesn't it? Whereas to them, everything stands or falls, firstly, by the Constitution, and the Constitution pushes liberty up very high. Well, so freedom of speech becomes more important than justice, which to us is preposterous, because for us, being just to people is the first end, if you like, of a state, is for it to be a just state. And anyway, not for it to be a free state, but a just state, and freedom is quite a good way of getting there.
And anyway, freedom of speech is a concept, and justice is concrete.
Exactly. That's where empiricism, and in a sense, that part of the Greeks that was empirical, I mean, even the earliest philosophers, Zeno, the ones they call the pre-Socratic still.
Zeno was the paradox man, wasn't he?
If you remember, one of Zeno's paradoxes also was the paradox of the heap, the beans. Yeah. He handed a bean to one of his students and said, "Is that a heap?" And his student said, "No, no." He put another one there and said, "Is that a heap?" And he said, "No, that's not a heap." And he added another one and said, "Is that a heap?" No. And eventually, of course, kept adding a bean. The bean said, "Yeah, that's a heap." He said, "Ah, so a heap is 23. And the student thought, that can't really be right, can it? If I take one away, it's no longer a heap. If I add one, it is a heap. But we constantly have this. We have it with ages of consent, with abortion. Yes. These are things. Take one day, it's murder. Add a day. Take one day away, it's before their 16th birthday, it's child abuse. Add a day, that 16-year-old is an abuser. Yeah. Does that make sense? I mean, ethics is very much to do with empiricism in that sense of actually testing it. And the right to bear arms is a good example. So where do you stop? What counts as arms? I mean, even the most zealous interpreter of the Constitution wouldn't count a nuclear weapon as arms, but it's arms. But you're not you stop where?
We've got to stop, but I hope it's only a matter of days before we start again. Stephen Fry, thank you very much.